What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking a look at the Chinu 2 via Cracker. Those of you who've been around the channel for a while probably remember Cracker. He's an old friend of mine. He's been sending in replays for a long time, and since I'm back doing videos, he's decided to send in a new one for us to check out. And well, I think Cracker's gonna have to change his name from CrackerBRagin to CrackerBClubbin after this match. Holy moly! The number of kills that he gets with this tank. Partially because of how good he is, but it's also because of the battle rating of this vehicle. The Chinu 2 sports a 75mm cannon, which received a new ammo type not too long ago. It received the Type 4 shell. The Type 4 is not only larger than the original Type 1, but it also gives you better penetration, and it has a larger amount of high explosive filler. So all around, you just get a much better shell. And yet, Gaijin, when they made this change, they didn't change the battle rating. So, an already very good tank became essentially overpowered at this battle rating. Now, if you notice, there are no markers on this map. The replay system it's kind of funny. It's got certain limitations to it. You can either have all markers on or all off. You can't completely simulate what Cracker would have seen, unfortunately, because of the limitations of the replay system. So I chose to take all markers off so that we can have some idea as to what Cracker was seeing. We just won't be able to see which vehicles are his teammates. You can pretty much guarantee that everything in front of him is going to be an enemy tank, except of course for that burning wreck that happened to be his teammate 30 seconds ago. Well, Cracker's got somebody trying to flank behind him. This is kind of an awkward setup for the map. Usually domination allows people to funnel into certain areas, whereas single cap conquest, with A being all the way here in the north on the lowest part of the map, people tend to go everywhere, and that it really makes things complicated, as you have to have excellent awareness, because people can be literally anywhere, including some of the most obnoxious spots which you will see in this battle. People mountain goating on the hills left and right, well, mostly to the left, but you know what I mean. Thankfully, some of these players are completely oblivious or tunnel vision. Like this particular T-34 was no doubt focused on the other bridge that led to this little elevated little isolated piece of land. Not really quite sure what you would call this. Kind of an island, if you will. You can see, look at this guy, mountain goating on the side of the hill. You would never see someone try this in arcade because of the name marker system. But in RB, you almost always see at least one person up there. We're only 3 minutes into this video, and Cracker's already got himself a tank ace. And he's not even close to being done. He's just checking obvious spots. When you play Ash River enough, people tend to go in obvious spots regardless of where the cap circle happens to be. Like when he came up onto this piece of land, he looked to his right, which is where there's almost always at least one tank looking to shoot anything that's coming up onto this piece of land. He checked the center circle of the land, got him, and then moved his eyes to the left side towards the hills, where there's always people sniping. Having run out of targets to shoot at, Cracker knows where he's got to go. He's got to head towards A. He's got to recap Alpha, if at all possible, even if just to stop the ticket bleed. After all, we can't allow these guys who are down here to continue to push and get right into the spawn. That would just be devastating for this team. But he's not reckless. Cracker's got to look. This elevated piece of land in the center of the map is a very common place for people to come back to, and sure enough, there's a T-34 that's headed in this direction. But that Type 4 shell, it just doesn't care about that sloped armor on the Soviet tanks. It just punches clean through. And of course, with the additional high explosive filler, it devastates the crew members inside. See, here we go. Got an M10 Achilles headed towards the spawn. Gotta eliminate him. Where there's one, there's more. Sure enough, we'll see some guys over here, and these rocks pop out. T-34. I got no clue how that even penned. I would have bounced that 9 out of 10 times. Guaranteed. RNG was just on his side this time. Yet again, another tank pushes out willy-nilly, not looking... This is one of the most trafficked areas in this map. This slope that leads down into the cap, and yet none of these guys are looking until this guy, this KV, finally looks and notices Cracker, and that's another cheeky little shot. Very difficult to hit just that corner of the tank's turret. Excellent shot. He sees some smoke coming out from out there. Sure enough, another M10. Again, what he's doing is nothing difficult. He's looking at obvious places where people go on the map. This is all map awareness more than anything. He's the M4A5 Ram up there, right in the back of the turret. Nice clean kill for kill number 13. 13. I think the highest kill I've ever gotten in RB with one tank is 11. And I've gotten it twice, if I remember correctly. The last one that I had was in the Centurion Mark 1, and I just recently uploaded that video. I don't remember what I was in my first time with the 11 kills. It's difficult to get that many kills because a lot of times people will just stop spawning in. If people lose interest, they feel, well, this game is lost, so I'll just return to hangar and queue up for the next game, and it's difficult to get that many kills. So when it happens, it's pretty impressive. Those of you who are concerned about this being a premium tank, there are other vehicles in the Japanese tank tree that receive the 75mm cannon and have gotten the Type 4 shell upgrade. The Chito, for example, is still to this day my favorite Japanese tank to play, and I don't think I've even played it since it's gotten the new shell. I played it so much. I did a lot of grinding of my tank tree with that vehicle. It proved to be a very good tank, even without the upgraded shell. The new Type 4 shell, in my opinion, is mostly there for taking on KV-1s, and right now there are a lot of KV-1s in the game. When War Thunder celebrated the 5th anniversary of the game, they put a lot of premium tank packs on sale. One of those was the KV-1E. It's basically an up-armored KV-1, which was already really well armored in the first place. So, yeah, imagine a KV-1 with an additional armor plate everywhere. Once again, Mountain Goat. There's always a guy up there, even at the end of a game, and you can understand why. It gives you an excellent vantage point of the battlefield. You can see everywhere except for near the cap, which apparently this guy has no interest in. He just wants to get some easy kills of guys re-entering the game in the middle of the map. But you notice that hit that Cracker took, that killed, or rather wounded, almost everyone in his tank. Everyone's yellow. Everyone looks like a Simpsons character at the moment. The Chino 2 doesn't have very good armor. Actually, it's quite poor at this tier. 50mm of armor on the turret, as well as in that mid plate in the hull. It's really poor. Especially when you consider the number of vehicles that have cannons that are capable of penning more than 100mm of armor. And you don't get any add-on armor, unlike, say, the German Panzer IVs, which I believe have 20mm armor plates. Well, actually, they're tank tracks that get added on. The Panzer IV F2 at battle rating 3.3, as well as, I believe, the Panzer IV-G at battle rating 3.7 also gets 20mm thick tracks that can be added on as additional armor plates. Yeah, that's just... wow. 16 kills later, Cracker is finally put down by an SPA, of all things. Isn't that always the way it goes? It's always a whirlwind, or in this case, a little ZIS-12. Why? Oh, just brutal. If there's one thing I would remove from this game, it would be armor-piercing rounds from SPA. Just remove them. SPA are admittedly it's not as bad as say artillery in World of Tanks or what have you, but wow, they're such a nuisance. But thankfully they're not as bad as they used to be. Remember when almost everything had HVAP rounds and they could shred everything? Yeah, those were the days, weren't they? Cracker finishes out this game with a 17th kill thanks to his Key 100 with a bomb on the M4 Sherman. 17 kills, my god. If that's not carrying, I don't know what is. His teammates did not do a whole heck of a lot of heavy lifting. But that's one of the things that this tank is capable of now that it's got the Type 4 shell, along with many other of the Japanese tanks. Japan tends to get a bad rap because of the mediocre Tier 4 tanks, which is one of the most popular areas of the game. A lot of people play 5.7 to 6.7, and that's really a weak spot for Japan. Sure, they've got the Premium Tiger, they've got the Walker Bulldog, which is fairly useless until you get APDS shells. Then you get to the STA 1 and 2, which are not that good. I think that's pretty clear. Above that, you got some good tanks at very high tiers, but there are so few of them. You end up having to supplement your lineup with primarily Japanese aircraft just to make an actual lineup. So right now, one of the best areas for Japan, one of the standout areas, is actually around this BR, around 3.7 to 4.3, 4.7. It's just a really good area for Japan. And don't feel like you have to buy the Chinu too. There are some excellent tanks that you can unlock just the old-fashioned way. Anyway guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care guys.